Hi everyone, how we doing? Simon Says here, just checking in. Um, and yeah, there's been something that I kind of want to share with you that actually may be a little bit controversial. I'm aware of this. You might not all like it, but it's something that's kind of been playing on my mind, certainly over the last kind of couple of days. And yeah, I thought I'd share. So here I am sharing. Excuse my voice. I have actually just woken up with you all. Um, is quite recently. I mean, I don't know if it's me. It could just be me, just because what I'm going through. Recently, it seems like cancer is ravaging a lot of people at the moment and kind of really having a negative impact on a lot of people's lives. Kind of my Facebook newsfeed is kind of constantly filled with stories of people that have lost their fight to cancer. People that are raising money to get various kinds of treatment in America and other countries, and it's all quite negative, hardcore cancer stuff. And obviously, that kind of is very, very close to home because I have cancer, and I'm kind of going through similar kind of things. So I'm kind of looking at all these newspaper articles and Facebook posts and stuff with great interest. And the thing that I've noticed the most about a lot of these posts and a lot of kind of what's going on is almost the despair and desperation that a lot of people feel when a member of their family or they themselves have cancer. Now, I completely get that and why that would be, and that kind of very much contradicts a little bit about my kind of stance and my journey through cancer. Because do you know what? I think, where I get that, when all medical advice has run out from the NHS and people are told, look, there's nothing more we can do for you. However, there is an alternative therapy, but it's going to cost you 10 grand or 5 grand or whatever. I get, people's desperation to live. I completely understand that. No one wants to die early. No one really wants to talk about or think about their own mortality. We're quite happy living our lives day by day, kind of oblivious to the fact that, death is all around us and could happen at any second. And we don't really want to think about that. That's quite negative. And so we have, a situation where there's lots of people that are desperate for treatment and desperate for a miracle in some circumstances. And the interesting thing about kind of my journey and where I'm at is that in November I was told I had 3 to 6 months to live, and I kind of took that on the chin, and you'd have seen my videos and kind of how I'm dealing with that. But here I am, sat in my living room, kind of many months later, feeling pretty good, alive and stuff, which is nice. Just kind of thinking, well, not having any idea really how long I've got left, and just thinking, okay, well, what is it why aren't I desperate to live? That might sound like a really bizarre statement, but you know what? I think I personally have kind of come to terms with this whole idea of we're all mortal, we're all going to die one day. It's going to happen to me, and you know what? That's okay. It's like way back when I started doing these videos and I was talking about choose your day. I can get up and choose to be desperate to live and, make that my sole purpose and my sole mission and have that at the forefront of my brain. But actually, do you know what? I think for the sake of my positive mental health, and actually, I can't guarantee this, and I'm in no way saying that my positive attitude has got me this far, but I can't help wonder that actually it's kind of had an impact on my health, The fact that I wake up every day and I don't think about having cancer. In fact, I don't actually use the cancer word at all in my day-to-day life. I use it on these videos, and occasionally, obviously, if I go to the doctors or whatever, the word comes up. But in my day-to-day life, I don't use that word because actually I don't want to give the word and the thing any power in my life. I don't want to give it any authority to kind of dictate how I spend my day. Because if I wake up and I think, oh my goodness, I've got cancer and I've got this cancer battle and this cancer fight and all this kind of stuff, for me personally, and again, if you feel the opposite and this doesn't work for you, that's absolutely fine. This just works for me. For me, actually, putting cancer in a little box in my brain that kind of gets activated every time my alarm goes off to take meds, and then I forget about it for the rest of the day, and not giving it power and not giving it any authority over my life and just carrying on being positive, seems to be working. It's certainly benefiting my mental health because I'm not going crazy yet. So when I see kind of all these Facebook articles, and I know the media twists stuff and it's not quite accurate, and they elaborate and things, but when I see some of these articles about people that have got cancer and they are desperate, and you can see that they're desperate for treatment, and you read the article and it's so sad. Part of me just feels like I want to I want to kind of have a word and say, look, I get it, but I promise you, you will live a more fulfilling life, however long that will be, if you can just park that whole cancer thing to the side. Yes, absolutely still raise money, absolutely still seek funding, absolutely, you've still got cancer, it's not going to go away, especially if we're looking at, terminal stuff. But actually, if you can just not make it the most important thing in your life, and not make it your driving force every single day to fight it, I think you'll be healthier. I do. I think it'll work. It's certainly working for me. I don't want to be labelled, oh, the guy that's got cancer. I know I kind of am, but that I've got so much more to offer. I've got so much more to give. I've got so much more to do with my day than worry about something that ultimately I take my meds. There's nothing I can do about it. So I've got to be okay with it. I've got to let it go and go, do you know what? I'm okay with this. It's fine. It's all right. And whatever happens, it's all right. It's not about, there's absolutely nothing wrong with having kind of a hope that something positive will happen and that, by some miracle, or there'll be a new medical trial or something, because that stuff happens every day as well. There's loads and loads of positives. All right. But the fact is, if you're okay with that not happening, and you're okay, and you say, do you know what will be, but I'm not going to let it have this massive negative impact on my life, then I assure you of better and more positive outcomes. And it doesn't just have to be kind of like the big C cancer stuff. There'll be loads of stuff in your life where, every day, you wake up and you're anxious about something, and you know what that is. It could be work, it could be financial troubles, it could be relationships, it could be a whole host of stuff. And I'm not saying ignore it and hope it goes away. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I'm saying give it the priority it deserves. If it's something that gets you down and worries you, absolutely you need to deal with that. I'm not saying run away from it, but don't make it the forefront of your day. Don't obsess over it. Acknowledge it for what it is, something that needs to be overcome or pushed through or whatever, but don't make it the number one thing in your life every single day. Anyway, that's enough for me. Like I said, I'm still here. Still got lots of plans, lots of things to look at. Some exciting fundraising little bits and bobs that I'm doing. And again, yes, some of these things are cancer related, but I'm not thinking about, my own mortality and where I'm going to be. Do you know what? I'm thinking I want to do some fun stuff. I want to do some fun events, and yeah, I want to get involved in fun, exciting, happy things. So that's what I'm going to focus my attention on. What are you going to focus your attention on? Cheers, guys. See you soon.